Hi Sagittarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for October 2014, and first a bit of an overview about the month in general, because it's quite a busy month, and if you've seen the other video I did about the eclipses, you'll have more of an understanding about what they've been helping us to see and giving us to work with over 2014 so far. This is the ending of the eclipse cycle this October, and there's two eclipses, and also there is a configuration in the sky called the Grand Fire Trine. So first of all, the eclipses. The first one is a lunar eclipse on October the 8th, and it's in a very good angle to your sun sign. It's connected to the planet Uranus, this eclipse, very strongly, which has got a feeling of innovation and newness about it, and it's also connecting to the Grand Fire Trine, and your sign, Sagittarius, is on one end of that Grand Fire Trine. So we have a triangle in the sky with Mars, Uranus, and Jupiter all in you have Mars, Sagittarius has Mars, Aries has Uranus, and Jupiter is in Leo. So there is this shape in the sky which is full of new hope and fresh starts, really. But that's what eclipse energy can help with. Anyway, it's the energy of making improvements, of having a new beginning in a particular area of life, and for you it is to do basically with your creativity, the feel-good factor, doing things that help you to feel good, that you enjoy, that are empowering. So setting time aside to integrate more with that inner child within you, really. If your commitments towards friends, or maybe the group in general, social commitments or commitments within an organization, have been taking the lion's share and leaving you too little time just for play and relaxation and leisure pursuits, and healthy sort of leisure pursuits as well, then and anything which is allowing you to shine in your own particular way, then this is the opportunity, this lunar eclipse, to even it up, to get back the equilibrium there, so that you have a more balanced life. And the more you do your own thing, and first you need to know what your own thing is, but the more you do your own thing within the parameters of the obligations that you have within important relationships, then the more rewarded you can be by using this eclipse. The one end of this is, as I say, pinned to Uranus. So or rather, this eclipse is pinned to Uranus, which is pinned to one corner of the Grand Fire Trine. So it makes it, it's in a very positive angle to your sun sign, but it makes it a positive figure anyway for all of the signs, even the signs to which it does not make such a positive angle. And it's always to do with how we respond to energies that make them what they are, and that show the outcomes from these energies. And the power really is in our hands. Now, Uranus is the planet of change, so change will be in the air there, a feeling of, okay, now we move forwards from here, and you feeling fresher about things, and you going to the next level, you going to the next stage, whatever it is. And also the universe will be creating out of this energy, because the universe, or should I say the Great White Spirit, is creating and expanding in a spiraling out manner throughout all creation, throughout all eternity. And so it's not just up to you to be using this eclipse energy. The universe itself, or rather, should I say, the great animating spirit of the all and everything, will also be causing events or conditions to change, which will encourage, shall we say, or sometimes even force new growth. Now there's another eclipse. That one's happening on October the 23rd, and this is a very different kettle of fish for you. This one's in Scorpio, the sign before yours, right at the very beginning, right at the very end of Libra and the very beginning of Scorpio. And this is on the Taurus-Scorpio axis, which has been throughout 2014 getting you to do some deeper self-inquiry to do with what is most important to you now, particularly related to deeper emotional attachments, maybe to do with the past, tying up things from the past. And also it can be, for you, more artistic centaurs, Sagittarians, the source of raw material for you to work with, maybe not straight away, because actually this area can mean that you were sort of blown open, really, in order to heal something, in order to bring something into resolution and acceptance and into resolution. So if you've been sifting through things, if obviously you've been experiencing things, because that's what life is, over these past months, then you will now be able to make use of this solar eclipse energy, which actually is pinned to Venus. And that's a really lovely, intimate, friendly, supportive, balancing energy in this background area. So this is a time for you to pull in your horns, not that centaurs have horns, Taurians do, but anyway, is to sort of pull a little bit back, you know, and try as much as you can to take downtime, to have special nurturing time for yourself, either through choice, or in fact it could come about as the universe is creating things through necessity. So it just means that you have to, or should, or the advice would be, you don't have to do anything, but the advice would be to use this focus for positive change, which is what the eclipse is, in this way. Now, eclipse energies actually roll out over many, many, many months afterwards, particularly the solar eclipse, which is 6 to 12 months. The lunar eclipse is can be a month, can be more, it depends on your natal chart. So if you work with the eclipse energy within the 24 hours before it happens, excuse me, that can mean that you sort of set a precedent, you make a statement of intent for the energy to pick up that thread and then roll out in with that intention and with that desire, shall we say, over the month or more months to come. And this can also, this eclipse here for you can also be related to old debts. It might be from you to others, it might be from others to you, and obligations, and, as I say, deeper emotional attachments. Can also be to do with financial matters or property matters as well, and that's, you know, that's for you to know. So in both of the instances there, the eclipse energy can help push things into a more comfortable kind of gear, really, even though the lunar eclipse energy is more sort of exciting for you to work with. The solar eclipse energy is more deeply meaningful for you to work with, perhaps. But the two of them really mean that you should be taking your own need for creativity more seriously, and nurture, connecting with your imagination, connecting with guides, with angels, connecting with your own higher self, with source, whatever you want to call it. Both of them are really, in their different ways, talking about that. And then the Grand Fire Trine, which is very much needed, really, because things are quite tough in the world these days. So this will be for us all, no matter what the signs, and this is a launch pad energy for great new enterprises. It can be healing and freeing and innovative. It can be the rabbit out of the hat. And this is the moment when you can take a leap of faith, being sensible, of course, but taking a leap of faith there. So use the energy, particularly around October the 8th, with the eclipse triggering that grand fire trine, to maybe let go, because there will be a little bit of letting go and acceptance about letting something go in order to enable this change energy, simply because Uranus these days is very much tied on to the planet Pluto, which exerts a sort of price on things to do with, you know, evolution and letting go of outmoded behaviors, the old frame, the old way of understanding, the old way of approach, the old way of an old setup. And it can be quite a small thing. It can be literally decluttering, you know, it can be like that. But anyway, letting go of something in exchange. So it's like a swapsy, really, for something fresh and new to flourish. And it always depends on your natal chart to know how transits and eclipses will affect you in a clearer sort of kind of a way than with your sun sign chart, but the sun sign chart definitely has a say. So what else is going on in October 2014? Well, of course, you've got Mars in your sign, so this is going to speed things up around you. It could indeed raise your energy level, make you more decisive and clearer about what you've got to get done and target, and it can also make you feel as though there's a really strong forward moving busy energy around you, which you've just got to keep up with. It depends on how you are when this Mars energy comes into your sign, Sagittarius. But it can make you more physically active, that's for sure. I say that's for sure. I mean, it depends on where you're at in your life, but it tends to make one more physically active because it's a very physical energy. Until the 23rd, the solar energy is moving you through a very progressive phase. It's time to get the ball rolling on things that maybe you haven't been able to do for a long time. Maybe it's taking that exercise. It's a very future-orientated phase, though. You just feel as though that things are just moving forwards in quite a positive kind of way, because the Grand Fire Trine is very much there to help you, and also the eclipse energy as well, particularly for the month from the eclipse, the lunar eclipse, that is. Networking and technology, IT type equipment, all of that is highlighted, but anything to do with the sciences as well, and anything to do with your alliances and allegiances towards a group of others and also your friends. So it can be to do with a circle of people in a very private way, but it can also be to do with, of course, the internet and that huge community out there. But it's definitely got a feeling of progressing and moving forwards this month. It's a busy energy with Mars in your sign, and it's definitely got the feeling of more get up and go with it, really. And this group of others might be a group of specialist others. It might be a group who've got very sort of an interest in common. And also Venus is in this same area, so you feel very supported, I think, by others, whether that's friends, whether that is to do with your associations in this group. So it might not be, you know, real buddies and mates. It might be just people that you are associated with because everybody in the group, in the collective, is associated together. Group gatherings, making effort to do with group gatherings or teaming up with others, a number of others, all of that will benefit from Venus's very helpful, supportive, facilitating mood in this area here. And you could be seen by others, these others, as being the helper and the facilitator and the supporter as well. Now, until the 11th, Mercury is working from deeper levels and your mind tends to become more introspective. You're just pondering this or that or the other thing. And your mind, it might be that certain things are a bit up in the air, you're a little preoccupied, and you should just let yourself zone out, really. You know, read a good book. Just go and do something which takes your mind off things, because this isn't a time when you can get real clarity about things. But also, this is a very positive time to be connecting with others in a sort of cloistered environment, a little bubble, you know, and be there to be the one who is getting some nurturing, or indeed being there for others and helping them in whichever way they require and need at that time. It's also a good time for using your imagination. It's also a good time for healing and any spiritual work. And so hold the vision of how you'd want it to be, and then just feel that on beginning to blossom as you hold that vision. On the 11th, though, Mercury goes retrograde, goes back into Libra, and this is a period when you can collaborate more in a sort of active, extrovert kind of a way, bouncing ideas around with others within the group, generally chewing the fat in the company of others, and others could find you articulate and your ideas interesting. But also you could be exploring different avenues with them. Again, there's this kind of fresher, progressive, future-orientated feel. So maybe you are connecting with others, friends, or within the group in a different kind of a way. They're not used to seeing you like that. Or it could be that you are connecting with a very different kind of group of people. This is quite a techno area as well, so technology may be coming into the weaving here of what's going on. But anyway, you could be surprised and maybe even inspired by what you learn, and maybe another's unusual take on things, or indeed inspiration could come to you and others are very sort of enlightened, really, by your take on things. Now, until the 26th, Mars is in your sign, so this means that you got to be taking action, or just keeping up with the action, and it is about getting with whatever program, organizing things, getting plunged sometimes into situations which just demand energy from you, demand you to be assertive and not be a sort of little shrinking violet in the corner, just doing what you're told. Mars is about leadership as well, and very much, you know, setting things up in a way which you choose, and being kind of at the wheel, you know, in the director's seat. Even though Mars tends to boost vitality, Mars can actually run you ragged as well because of the demands coming at you from the outside world. So you need to deliberately engineer some R&R for yourself. But overall, this is your opportunity to get with whatever program you need to improve things for yourself or for others, and try not to be too impatient, and try not to be too competitive, because Mars is actually very, very competitive. And just watch your step as you go forwards, and don't trip over your own shoelaces or go and put your foot in it. And then from the 26th, Mars is demanding you put more effort and decisiveness into the material, physical side of life, to do with finances, working out solutions for how to improve things there, and you know, really applying yourself in a dynamic way in that area there. Or it may actually be to do with your physical diet, exercise, health, that kind of thing. And you could be looking at what goes through your body, what regimes, you know, you could improve upon, and the like. And also it is about property, it's about material possessions, and it can be that you can, you know, your physical strength may be stretched because of that type of thing. I mean, you know, armchairs are heavy to lift and push around, cupboards, you know, dressers. So it could be that you're doing something like that, and protecting things, ditching things, shoving things around. It could be, but it could also be that you've got to work harder through this, in this material way, and also this physical way. And it's up to you to choose, of course. And then the sun moves on the 23rd, so the sun comes into the same area, which is rather sort of behind the scenes. It's where it's to do with your private life. It comes into the same area that Venus goes into from the 24th onwards. Venus comes into this very much quieter area to do with the backwaters of your life, but it can be to do with nutrition. It can be to do with sorry, not nutrition, but kind of nurturing activities, and you probably have to be more aware of your inner life, your inner self, your inner needs, and what's going on really behind closed doors. And it might even be to do with a center or a retreat or an institution of some kind within which you you are getting some kind of benefit. It could even be an educational one, but it can also be one that is if there's disharmony or unbalance with your health. So you are going there for those sorts of reasons as well. But also this is an area to do with your imagination, the arts. It's wonderful to just absorb yourself in something artistic with the Sun and Venus and Mercury all there together. Although Mercury is going to be out of there actually from the 11th, but Mercury does turn around and stop doing the retrograde thing from the 25th, which is, I should have mentioned that to you. Mercury is going retrograde between the 11th and the 25th, so that is going to hold things up, make you wonder where certain piece of paper has got to, or a message or a contact that you're waiting for or trying to make. Or it might mean that there, there are other options that you've got to look at regarding a situation. And it can also be that you just need to make your mind up about this is the time. This is more the time for me to start to. I said to you that Mars is in your sign, but actually you deliberately need to make spaces, engineer spaces for you to go slower and to still the mind and to meditate. And to look after yourself in that kind of way, touch base with your higher self, with your source energy. This is a very important time for you to be doing that, Sagittarius. Starting from the 11th, starting from the 23rd, 24th, but also towards the end of the month with Mercury, although it's really more to do with the Sun and Venus. Now, in some ways, Saturn is preparing you for when Saturn is coming into your sign, which is going to be happening on Christmas Eve 2014. So you should be should have been over 2014 and 2013, tying up things to do with the past, and also looking after yourself more, connecting more and being more introspective on the inner plane, shall we say, but also emotionally. So looking for resolution, looking for healing in some sort of way, and really also just some more self-understanding, and then trying to improve maybe on old behavior patterns. But also you may have been quite pressured in the background to be there for a number of others or for others, and that puts a certain pressure on you because your personal desires or your ego had to be kept on one side whilst dealing with these others. When Saturn comes into your own sign, that's a very different kettle of fish. But for now, this is where Saturn is. The new Sagittarians born at the end of the middle 10 days or the beginning of the last 10 days. With 19 to 25 degrees rising, you're going to feel this energy the most. Until next August, Jupiter is in a very good place in your solar chart, and this is good news for you, and it means that growth can come through foreign connections, travel of course, but also education, communications of all kinds, and just becoming more involved with an area of interest. It might be academically, it might not be. And others seeing you more as the teacher, the guide, the advisor. This is quite a spiritual area as well. So you yourself may, if you're a spiritual seeker, and many Sagittarians are, may connect with a teacher figure who is bringing the answers to the questions that you've been seeking for a long time. And it might not be spiritual, it might simply be more on the intellectual level, but it can be both, of course, because spirituality is throughout all of the levels of life. It's not just, sort of in a little slot all on its own, separated from the rest of everything. So it's a great vibration, though, for your sign, and it means that you can get the pieces of the jigsaw that you've been looking for a long time, but also you can be the one for others that are helping them understand the pieces of the jigsaw that they've been looking for. It's a good vibration for putting the word out onto a wider stage as well. It's the area to do with broadcasting, publications, that kind of thing, but also some of you may be getting involved in the legal side of things, but it is a very positive energy, and also maybe upgrading with communications, media, equipment and that kind of thing. But it's just general expansion in that area. And you Sagittarians born, and of course travel, did I say that? Yes, I think I did. You Sagittarians born in the middle 10 days or the beginning of the last 10 days are going to feel this energy the most. That's 15 to 21 degrees rising. I'm going to feel this energy the most. And in conclusion, watch out for Neptune. For you Sagittarians born in the first 10 days or with 4 to 7 degrees rising, sacrificing your own sort of losing the strand of your own direction of travel, because you're sacrificing yourself for somebody else, because you put them above you, wouldn't be a good idea. To be there to serve and facilitate others would be a good idea, but as long as you've separated the needy from the greedy, and this is regarding any members of the family or to do with neighborhoods, neighbors, or within your community, or your tribe, and also to do with property matters. So all will be well if you integrate put strong boundaries down and integrate your own wishes as well. And that's it for October. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also this month I asked, because of what, how hard it is across, the world at the moment, and I'm telling you this in August, I asked my guides in where I am now, August, if they could say a word, really. So there's a little message from my guides, because I work with guides. It's about 1.5 minutes long, so you might like to find that somewhere. And I'll see you the next time.